Just
Let's
get
do
into it.
All right, we're back. Back recapping another Bachelorette episode. Pretty wild episode. But how are we doing? How are you? How are you feeling?
Better than last week.
But do you feel good now?
Yeah, I feel, yeah. You know, I'm
Good
coming
enough.
off like 2 weeks of just illness. So I'm on the other side of it, but I'm still like getting back.
You're probably tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that.
Daylight savings. I didn't do anything this weekend.
There you go.
Antibiotics.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do stuff this weekend?
I don't know.
Wait,
I don't know.
How was your day with your ex?
I got free food.
Oh, come on. What? Give us some more details.
So we went to this place in Chicago that is it's so obvious that it's like some sort of mob front sort of Italian restaurant, like cash only, valet parking, tipping with cash, even more cash.
Okay, I like
They've been open since the 30s, which is when the mob was around in Chicago originally. Like
little Sopranos vibes, yeah.
I loved every second of it. You know what? I literally told him in the car ride back, I was like, I need to go back there by myself instead of the barn by myself, my mob husband.
I'm sure he liked that comment.
There's nothing he can do about it.
That's true. But okay, then did it go well?
Yeah, it went well enough. Like I would go get food with him again.
Are you afraid to say anything because he's gonna watch?
I don't know. I don't know if his friends watch, and then
I'm saying, are you afraid to say something
though? For the horoscope people out there, I'm a Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising. I always like to keep some things.
All right, that's fair. All right, then I'm gonna tell you this story. So
could be implied.
here's this story. So I go home last weekend, and I had no dating apps on my phone. Like I was talking to a girl for about 2.5 months, had no dating apps, nothing. And we stopped like mid-October, and maybe like the first or second week. I don't really exactly remember, but I haven't downloaded dating apps back yet. Like I didn't really care.
I did Hinge for like a 3-month span in the pandemic because I was bored and like lonely. And so like me and one of my best girlfriends from home, we both downloaded Hinge at the same time. It was the first and only time we've ever done those things.
Yeah.
And it was just like bust central. Like it was just not cute.
I mean, like
I won't do it again.
It's a dating app, you're gonna get what you put in, and you're not much, right? So I download it, I'm going through the Facebook login to like just link my profile. It's like fill out a few of these questions to complete your profile. So I'm like, all right, I do it. Boom. Click OK. And it's like, all right, you are now available to explore Hinge. First girl I see is a girl I was talking to. Number one girl. First girl. I don't see anyone else. She's the first person I see. And I'm like, oh. Yo, come on now. Like, what? Like, this is the first girl. You couldn't even give me like 2 or 3.
I mean, you know what? At least you're doing it. She's doing it too. Now it's out in the open. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to wonder about it. It's happening.
No. You know what I did? I saw her like first picture. I scrolled a little bit, and then I saw like a few more pictures, and I was like, oh, she's full blown on this app. All right, you know what? Good for her. Click out, deleted the app, haven't downloaded it since. I was just like, that was like my just don't do it, Michael. Like, it's not worth it. Like, you don't gotta get on Hinge. So I was like,
no,
you know what?
It's not worth it. It's literally not worth it. I was just talking to one of my guy friends the other day, and I was like, I am what somebody would consider just like a classic bar whore. Like, you're not gonna catch me on the online dating shit. You're gonna catch me at the bar. You
So I
know,
feel like
like
that. I feel like that's how I am too. Like
yeah,
that suits me better.
I don't. Yeah, I tried that whole Hinge thing, and I was like, no, like this is just like not it. I don't like this.
Right.
I'm
But
a people person.
what
Not a
are the
freaking.
odds she's the first person I see?
I know.
Because listen now, listen. So where she lives is like 20 or so miles from me, maybe even a little less, but also we're in the South Bend area, so you would think I'd get like a lot of South Bend people, and she's on the opposite side of where we're looking at, and it's like she's the first person. I was like, all right, that's weird, but that's my one story for you. That was my story.
That's way more interesting.
Yeah, it was hilarious. I remember I texted one of my friends. I was like, dude, I'm just going to bed. This is like one of the. Yeah, I deleted the app, but I literally just put a movie on and I went to bed. It was like 10:30. I was like, this is my sign.
Actually, what? On Hinge, speaking of, I don't know if you watched, whose freaking season was it? But the box guy, from Joe, his name was Joe.
Yeah,
and
no, I didn't watch.
His dad owns this box factory in Chicago.
Okay.
I matched with that guy on Hinge, which any people who've watched all the consecutive seasons recently of The Bachelorette would know exactly who I'm talking about.
Okay. And why didn't you go on a date with him?
No, I said we exchanged a couple messages, and then I identified him as the box guy from the show, and then he was like, eh. So I think that's the trick, is acting like you don't know who they are.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not gonna fucking knock it. You are I know who you are. I have to say.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, so Hinge will never be on my phone probably ever.
Fuck Hinge.
Yeah, it's app's never gonna be on my phone. But all right, let's get into it. All right. Bachelorette, Michelle. What is it? 14 boys were left. Going in tonight. Yeah. We're going in tonight. We start off with Martin gets the one-on-one. They go driving. He kind of seemed scared the whole time, but cool little date, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Not really the main part of the date.
Martin, the one comment about that part, 2 comments. He was so PDA and lovey-dovey on her and stuff. It kind of made me uncomfortable to watch. I would hate if a guy was doing that to me, we're let's just go have fun. You don't have to kiss me every fucking second.
There was a few dates that people have been like that. And it's yo, that's not real life.
No, it's just, that's weird. Martin gave me the energy. I'm not trying to mean this in coming at him way, but he reminds me of someone that you would see at the club, this big dude with his chick and his arm is around her and shit. Yeah. And he's constantly making out. This is my girl. That's what he reminds me of. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that in a bad way. Michael Mason is kind of that. Michael Mason is 100% that guy. And I fucking love Michael Mason. I could see myself being friends with Martin, but
yeah, I feel that though.
Not for me, not for Michelle.
He definitely is that kind of guy. But big part of this the date was when they were after everything happened, they drove the cars, whatnot. They were talking, and Jamie and Martin were pretty close. And Martin,
out here defending Jamie,
being the dumbest boy in school, is out here defending Jamie. And it's sitting there even if he's your friend, there's no way you guys are that close of friends, right? You guys met for a few weeks at the Bachelorette. You're not that close of friends. Why even say anything? But then why defend him when Michelle was so visibly upset about it all? This, and that. And you're going to sit here and be oh, I kind of have his back.
I wasn't on the same side as everyone else. I was on Jamie's side. It's okay, Martin, you don't want to be a part of that minority, okay?
Right.
You really don't. That's really shady waters out there. Absolutely not.
especially on a one-on-one date. You're just ruining your date.
Yeah, that entire time I was like, is he this stupid? Like, is he really that stupid? He is so unaware of what's going on around him. Like, are you that stupid? The guy got sent home and you're going to sit here and defend him on your one-on-one. You're going to waste that time, which I mean, like, speaking of just like the producer side of it, I'm sure someone told him to like bring that up, or like they like talked him into really believing that. So he felt like he had to bring it up, sort of thing. But also, like, you have to be some sort of delusional to tell a producer, like, yeah, I'm going to sit and defend this guy on my one-on-one date. Like, absolutely not.
It's also like, do you want to win, or do you want to like just like be on TV? But I agree with you. It's like, I think someone got in his head and then he was like, you know what? You're right. Me and JB were boys. Blah, 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 blah,
I need to be completely open with her.
Yeah. Like, why? But also, so he ends up getting the rose. And in my head, as the whole episode went on, I'm like, you know, Michelle has struck me as this like strong, independent, great girl, all this stuff. She still makes questionable decisions. Like,
we all do, though, don't we all?
We do, but I thought Michelle was different.
So when they sat down for their like night portion, the meal portion of like the one-on-one, and she specifically said, so you saying that made me feel like you were questioning my decisions, which like doesn't feel great. Like, why did you say that to me? Or like, you know, like, why would you say that? Why do you feel that way? She's just like, why? And he just, I mean, he answered the question with like, I don't like, you know, I came from an emotionally, like, nobody could show their emotions in my house. He never answered the question, though. Like, he never answered why. Like, and it's like, is it because you are really on Jamie's side? He just like went into this backstory about like, you know, Godspeed to him. I came from a family where we didn't show our emotions either, but like, I'm not out here like blaming that on why I do things like 100. Like, I wouldn't go around a question like that. I would just be like, this is why I said that, because like, that's how I felt. I wouldn't be like, well, I came from a family where I couldn't show my emotions, so I just felt empowered telling you how I felt.
But like, that's what I'm saying though, is like, it was like,
it's such a cop out.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah.
Like, I respect the personal story and like where you came from and shit. I came from the same, not like the identical situation, but like in the feeling of like the emotion side of things. Like, I'm fine.
Right.
I mean, I have commitment issues because both my parents have been divorced twice, but like, I'm fine.
You have commitment issues? No.
Never.
But I agree with you. It's a cop out, and it was like kind of crazy. And I was shocked too that Michelle gave him a rose.
I was shocked. Yeah. I was like, he didn't even answer the question. What the fuck is he getting a rose for? He didn't even do anything.
He did absolutely nothing but kind of get himself in a hole.
He got it.
Yeah, he got it. Then we move on. They have the group date, right? It's like a sleepover. Blah blah blah. And Michelle is like upset that no one's pursuing her. They're not doing this, they're not doing that.
The whole time I was watching that, and Michelle is just like standing by the cotton candy machine with her ass out, and she's just like, why aren't any of these men giving me attention? I was like, why aren't any of those men giving you attention? They are a bunch of fucking man boys. Period. End of story.
It is literally like the social experiment of like
middle school.
10 immature kids in a room.
Middle school. Prepubescent teen boys in a room at a sleepover. They literally went straight back there mentally. All those guys did.
They did.
It was insane. Like, they were too shy to talk to the cute girl in class and too nervous.
Like the one guys were like loving the cotton candy. The other guys were sitting back, had the face mask on. They're sleeping.
Chilling in all the stuffed animals and pillows and shit. They're not even, they were in their own world. But that's the whole thing, is like, it's mind blowing to me. If I was on this show and I saw the lead was not talking to a single fucking person, that's my chance. That's when I'm going to go up and talk to him. I'm
You
not
would
going to
think.
just sit back. That makes it easy. Then I don't have to interrupt somebody. Like,
But
guys,
also,
work smarter, not harder.
these guys keep complaining how like their cocktail parties get ruined, this gets ruined, that gets ruined. Yet they had the greatest opportunity right there, and none of them did anything.
You guys aren't here for the boys. You're here for Michelle. Remember that. Like,
Yeah,
the
is
way
this
they
a-
were acting is they were like, this is boys' time for the boys.
Yeah.
Clayton was even like, at the end, he was like, it's going to be a good night. It's going to be cocktail
Yeah.
hour with my boys. Like,
Yeah,
Clayton, that's not what it's fucking about.
it's like a bunch of Aaron and Joes where it's just like
Yes,
running around
a
and like,
whole squad
yeah.
of them.
And then they did the little pillow fight thing, and like it was so crazy when the team won. You would have thought that it was like the boys just were on a trip to Vegas, baby.
Literally,
Like,
oh my god, Olu winning though, I freaking love that for him. Like,
I do like him. Yeah.
The cocktail portion of the group date was when I was like, Olu. I always say this, like, this is something that I feel like is a prominent pattern in men. If men don't have any sisters, they typically don't know how to treat women. Like, they're typically not good in relationships.
I think yes, but also if they have a very, very good mother, then they might know how to treat someone.
Maybe.
But I have sisters, so I treat everyone like God.
Yeah,
So.
no, my ex has a great mom and no sisters, and he sucks. So,
But you still
but he
go to
got me
dinner
free
with
food.
him.
Yeah, okay, it's called being resourceful. Look it up. He knows it. It's called being resourceful. Look it up.
Yeah. All right.
Who says no to free shit?
Wait,
Not me.
who doesn't have sisters though, or does whatchamacallit have
No,
sisters?
Olu has four sisters.
Okay,
and
okay.
so when
That's what-
Michelle was like, I didn't feel seen and blah blah blah, he like got really emotional because he's like, I can't imagine making my sisters feel that way. So I feel horribly that I made you feel that way, more or less. And I was like, oh my God. And he was crying and stuff. I was like, he is a great guy.
And
like,
and it benefited him.
Yeah,
it
did.
The rose.
Yeah, I was happy.
So,
but the interesting though, Nate, she pulled Nate first after she had that conversation and like straight up pretty much told him he was a front runner. And like Nate just sitting there listening to her, I tweeted about this. I could just literally see his ego building behind his fucking eyes. And like he was holding back a grin and like a smirk and stuff. Like, she just told him you can feel comfortable. And then all the drama goes down. So
and like, to skip ahead, and then we'll come right back though to that point of his conversation of him being like really cocky. When the whole thing with Chris happened, and she had a conversation with Nate about it, he kind of just sat there too. Like, he just kind of sat back there too.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of similar to that conversation. So it's like, Nate, boy, what are you doing, man? Like, she's literally telling you that you have a phenomenal chance to win this, but like,
ultimately,
don't be a dumbass.
Ultimately, he did. The last part that we saw of him speaking, at least, he did say, I'm sorry for making you feel that way, which like that's what that whole conversation was meant to. But like, I can't find the words. Nate is the kind of guy that you don't want to say those things to, because he just has an already large ego. You can tell by the way he carries himself.
Yes.
And like, that's not a knock to him. Like, it's good to have confidence and stuff, but that was
Nate's the type of guy. Nate's the type of guy who thinks if he has it in the bag, he doesn't have to put in the work that got him to get in the bag.
Yes, so exactly. Why buy the cow if you can have the milk for free, sort of thing. Like a similar idea with that.
Right,
yeah,
exactly. Like, the whole thing of like, you stopped dating me once we started dating.
Yes,
that's kind of how Nate would be. But yeah. So what's his name? I got the rose. Olu. I like him too. Good guy. He got the rose. And then we move on to Rick. One-on-one date with Rick, who Michelle seems to really, really like.
I really like Rick too. At first, I thought he kind of reminded me of like the cat guy, Connor.
But his one-on-one date, he sold you, did he not?
Yeah, I really like him. Yeah, I really like him. His whole story, dude.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy.
We have to point out the wish box on the trail That shit was so planted. I wish I could have wrote wishes for the wish box. Like,
do you think the box was planted, or just like they made those wishes really quick and then
they made the wishes quick and
really
put
quick?
them in.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That shit was so staged.
Yeah, it was. And but I mean, it got them to talk about things that like probably like honestly, I don't think like those two I don't think knew. The producers obviously set all this up to it.
Imagine Rick being blindsided though with having to say all of that stuff. Like my stomach would just, my heart would just drop. Like if I had to open that and start explaining that.
For that.
I mean, it's out now, yeah.
Well, no, not that it's out though, because like at some point they're probably going to talk to about it. But I think it allows
the sooner the better.
The sooner the better, and Michelle really likes him, and I think that helped. Not that scenario, you know, but like when girls see someone like open up in that kind of aspect of it, it's like, okay, like he's being real with me. Like
I hate to say it, I feel like Rick's gonna make it far, but I don't think he's like the one.
No, no,
which is the unfortunate part. He's like the who was the dad last season where he was a widow because his wife passed from cancer.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
He's like another one of those. Like I don't want to see him get his heart broken. Like I can't stand to see that. Like
Rick will be on Paradise.
Michael, that was his name, Michael A. or something like that.
Rick will be on Paradise.
Yeah, for sure.
He seems like a perfect Paradise person,
and everyone wants the best for him. Like that's what I do not want to see him get his heart broken. I want to see him come back.
But Paradise is such a good mixture of like shitheads, like a Nate. And then like others like a Rick.
Nate, I feel like Nate and Joe and Rick are gonna make it far. That's like kind of where I'm at now with like the top three.
Wait, which one's Joe?
Joe, the Missouri Mr. Basketball guy. They had their one-on-one last
night. The one from Minnesota.
Yeah, they know each other. The one that DM'd her, and then goes to her.
I agree. He's like kind of the one who's like staying off on the camera, but not too much. But she keeps picking him really quickly, so it's like making me think that like, he's making it far.
They have something.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree. I think she does like Rick, but I do agree with what you were saying. Like, I don't think he really has necessarily a chance to win it.
No,
but I think he's gonna make far. I think a lot of people like him. Like
he'll probably make it to like hometowns. Him, Nate, and Joe are for sure making it to hometowns. I feel like even despite the Nate drama at the end, which
I think Nate makes it far too. I would agree with that. But now moving on, we go to the rose ceremony, and whatchamacallit. Before Michelle says anything, Chris hands Michelle a drink. Michelle is about to talk, it seems like, and Chris says I'd like to say something, douchebag thing, and he starts talking, kind of calling everyone out, which didn't make sense to me because he was also there. So
we've seen Chris spiraling slowly but surely, episode by episode, period, end of story. This man is just like, he's spiraling. I just like, he's like the gossip king. That's like literally Chris S equals gossip king. That's exactly how he is in my head.
For sure. And he does all this, but in my head, I'm like, dude, you were at that same little slumber party and you didn't go up to her. So how are you going to call everyone here out?
Yeah.
And then he starts kind of calling Nate out. And then, he also did the thing, which I was like, I'm shocked this isn't going to get back to Michelle, where he's talking to Nate and he kept saying, she probed me. It's like, dude, you openly wanted to tell her all of this. She didn't make you say shit.
I feel like Chris too was ultimately only like insecure about it because she pulled Nate initially. So he was like, that's the guy I need to go after. He's just like stressed out. He's literally spiraling before our eyes. We're watching this man unwind.
Yeah. Well, like this all happens and everyone like has a conversation with him. Like the Missouri football player had a conversation with him. The guy who had the rose, Olu had a conversation with him. Nate had a conversation with him. Like Brandon had a conversation with him. Everyone's like, dude, what are you doing? And he's just like, she deserved to know. And he kind of like wasn't honest about anything. And then we're talking about insecurity when Olu was like, do you think you're getting a rose? Just a simple question. Like, do you think you're going to get a rose? He he started freaking out. He was like, why wouldn't I get a rose? She told me I was getting a rose. Why wouldn't I get a rose? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, it was just like, dude, like, it's just a simple question.
Relax. He's spiraling.
So
literally spiraling.
That all happens, and he's a douchebag. Like, can't stand that guy. He's the biggest douchebag in the world.
It's so funny because when we were first like doing the cast and stuff, I was talking to Abby about it. And in the first episode, Abby said that Chris S was like one of her faves. And I was like, no, this man is a boy. Like,
what does she think about him now?
I don't know. I haven't really asked her about him.
You gotta ask her.
I know.
Abby gets dropped on the pod so many times that sometimes
I know Abby needs to come out here.
I know.
She needs to hop on a Zoom from Dallas.
Yeah. But so this all happens, and Chris still fucking gets a rose.
I can't believe it.
I was so shocked, and like,
he must honestly be their last fucking bid for drama. Like, he has to be.
Honestly, maybe, because all the other guys kind of get along. Like,
yeah, they love each other too much.
Like,
yeah,
very well. Like, there was each week there's been like one guy who's like kind of spiraled or like stirred up the pot, and then you're like, okay, like now we're moving on to the next week. I feel like everyone kind of likes each other, and then this is the week that it's like, but I don't even think Chris is gonna he's gonna spiral, but only to Michelle, because he can't really spiral in general because no one's gonna talk to him, so he can't do this whole like cat and mouse game that he's been doing because no one likes him and no one's going to tell him anything, and
he's already out. Yeah, everyone's out on him. Like,
Dunzo.
He's just like self-destructing at this point. Like, this environment's not for him.
It's a ticking bomb, right?
Yeah.
And it's gonna go off at some point, and he's just gonna look like even dumber. And Michelle is gonna be sitting there like, yeah, the producers are probably like, we need one person, but like she could have gave the rose to like 4 other dudes who would have been way more beneficial for her personally. But he, like, I just can't wait till he's off it, because like his little smirk, I want to punch. I want to punch in the fucking face.
He even has like crazy behind his eyes at this point. Like, we're just watching this man spiral.
He definitely does. And I hope he spirals really badly, and it's like a Jamie situation where Michelle's like, yeah, you're going to need to go. I'm not even inviting you to the rose ceremony, because I would love nothing more. And he was such a pussy when he said he was going to look at Olu, give him the fucking rose and tell him to put it next to his nightstand. And then he was like, I gave him a wink. Like, no, you pussy. You know, Olu would beat the
Don't
fuck
talk
out
on
of you.
Olu like that. If you're against Olu, you're against me. I think I tweeted that. Like, that's exactly how I feel. He's an idiot. Chris is an idiot. Everyone can ignore him. He's spiraling.
Yeah,
like,
he's
just
a douche.
He needs like a pat on the back and like a snack or something. Like, he needs to relax.
Oh, he went and looked at himself in the mirror and like pat himself on the back like 10 times after that night. Like,
maybe he just needs a hug and a snack then. Like,
maybe he needs to get laid.
Yeah.
All right, next week, now we just, obviously keep getting closer and closer, and more people are going home. More people, it's getting more serious. There's more one-on-one time with people. But then we saw that like that little thing about when Chris interrupted the one-on-one date. I think everyone would probably agree that was probably Nate's one-on-one date that he was going to interrupt. But I don't see Chris making another week. But also, like, who would you put as your top 3 guys if you had to put like fantasy suites? These 3 guys are getting them.
Rick, Joe, and Nate.
Rick, Joe, and Nate.
Yeah.
I would take Nate out, because I think Nate's going to do something that, like, I just don't think Nate is like as, how do I put this?
Think he's a compatible like long-term match for her? Probably not. They could prove me wrong, but like, I think he's going to make it far.
Yeah, right.
Like, he's for sure making it to if I were her, I'd be like, I want this man making it a freaking fantasy suites. He's hot.
Insert Nate for Olu. But I think I gotta see more. I gotta see more out of those 2.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I wish I could say that confidently, but like, I can't. I'm just being realistic. I love Olu though. Olu is someone who will probably be on Bachelor in Paradise.
Yes, he'll be like the Riley.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll get interesting though, like when it gets like less and less people, because they all kind of like each other. but then it's like, you like each other and you guys could be friends and whatnot, but then like bottom line is you guys are fighting for the same fucking girl, and socially and like mentally, like that's not easiest thing. So like, do other people spiral out at other people? Because like it is a tough thing to do. Like you're all
That's
dating the same
what
girl.
Chris S is doing before our very eyes. The testosterone, it's getting to him.
Right. So like, does it happen anywhere else? I don't know. But I just, who knows? I hope that we get some more. I just, Michelle needs to start making way better choices. Not that she's made bad ones, but like,
I don't know what it is.
She's made a few questionable ones.
Yeah, and like I don't know this season. I don't know. Maybe it's Michelle. I feel we may have talked about this already, but Michelle's voice is just so calming. I'm like, whenever I watch this, I want to go to sleep. She's such a good teacher. I can already tell. I can just tell from the way she talks. Like,
oh, and she definitely cares about her kids. Like, she's definitely a great teacher.
Yeah, like in the way her voice is just so calming. I'm like, I could go to sleep to this at night.
Yeah, I agree with that. But any last thoughts? Any last words? Hopefully you go out this weekend. We need a different vibe to you to tell a story.
There will probably be some shit going down.
Unless you're getting all booed up on us.
No, I'm not. There's no reality in which I would get back with my ex-boyfriend and he can listen to that and fucking weep. Like, there's no reality where that would happen. So I'll just take advantage of the free food and like peen if I want it.
I'm done.
You know?
I mean, I get it. I mean, I respect it.
Him and I are under understanding here. Like
that's good,
it's fine.
That's good then.
And all also right. He's just out of my box as like, and the box in my head is like boyfriend. Like he's in like he's like half in the cancellation box at this point. So like still don't think about sending things to him. I don't think about talking to him or anything. And that's a good place to be.
Probably the best place to be.
It's amazing.
So
just free food.
That's what I was about to say, free food. But all right, we'll be back next week and we'll see everyone then.